Balls Deep.
Hello and welcome to episode 25 of Balls Deep.
Welcome to the best podcast you're going to find anywhere.
Absolutely.
I need to fart. I'll be honest, that was quite vile. Sorry, I've just ruined your intro, but I just really needed to fart. We did pause it for a moment so I didn't ruin your ear holes, but, you know, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
You have, and you know what? I think that's actually a really important turning point of our relationship when I started to fart in front of you.
Yes, I was adamant for you to do it as well.
He did. He really encouraged me.
Not because I'm like into it in that way, as much as I do like someone to sit on my face, but
Oh, Jesus Christ.
hey, we're starting off. This is how we're gonna carry on. But yeah, you've got to be comfortable with it. I always remember a really nice story of a couple. It was like a clip, and it was a clip where she was in the toilet. They would only been together for like a month, and you know she was round his, and she went to the toilet and she didn't want to poo in his house, and he slipped a note under the door while she was in the bathroom, saying it was something really sweet, like it's natural, like just please, you know, it's natural. I love you either way, and you know it's absolutely fine. And it was really touching. I always remember that. And it was like, yeah, and there was those comments like, yeah, too bloody right, like, we all poo.
That's so nice, because I think there's so many cases in which, you know, like, you know, of men saying girls don't poo and all that.
I did believe that up to about 28.
No, you didn't. You liar. When we got together, then that
Yeah,
shattered
when we
all
got
your
together,
illusions.
yeah, when Mexico happened. Oh my goodness.
For anyone that didn't hear that previous podcast about that, we had violent food poisoning in Tulum.
Violent 3 days of open door policy. It was.
But it really brought us together.
It did.
We just, the door open, talking to each other to make sure that we were still alive, and pass me the toilet roll, pass me a drink.
It had to act because it was quite bad. That'll go down as one of the worst. I don't know. That might have been the worst I've ever felt from any illness. It was so bad.
For me, I mean, the headache was the worst thing
so
for me.
rough.
It was outrageous headache. Obviously, couldn't get off the toilet.
No.
There was a corner shop. Like, it was less than a 5-minute walk from our place.
Not even a stone's throw.
Probably like a minute walk out the door.
Yeah.
And we went to get like toilet roll and electrolytes, and even that, it felt like we just walked on a Disney day.
Yeah. We were absolutely pooped.
Pooped, literally.
Pooped, there we go. Yeah, that's fine. But I think maybe it was something a bit more than food poisoning.
Like what?
I don't know. I maybe dengue, but they say that hangs around for a week. But
it was just strange that we both had it though. So I think I don't know. I don't know. I've
just heard. I feel like food poisoning usually goes after like 24 hours.
Yeah, because it was like 3 days.
3 days of like and back pain as well.
Yeah.
Like your bones ached. Like you couldn't sleep. Like really in pain, as well as being ill. So I don't know. I didn't know food poisoning did that. So I wonder if it was something
interesting. Yeah, maybe so. So that wasn't fun, but it did bring us together. And I think if you're a couple listening to this podcast and one of you is yet to fart in front of the other,
get it done.
Because I really encourage you to do. Why would you be in pain? Why would you put yourself in discomfort? Why would you try and well, so I'm going to tell a story about on the plane home from
that's hilarious. Yeah.
Florida. So I slept the entire flight home from Florida. I took a sleeping pill when we got up in the air, and it's like a travel sickness tablet that makes you sleepy. And they brought the food around, so I just took the pill, ate the food, had a Bacardi and Coke, which is my go-to drink on a flight.
Tell them the pill as a little tip.
Oh yeah, why not? It's called Phenergan.
It's actually an antihistamine, right?
It is. It's an antihistamine and travel sickness tablet. On the box, it's got like a mosquito, a bed, the sun, I think, flowers. Like it's got all the things it's good for.
Get it at Boots.
You can get it at Boots. It is over the counter, but behind the counter, if you know what I mean. Like,
but you can get it. You don't need to get it prescribed.
Yeah, you don't need a prescription, but you've got to ask for it. You can't just pick it up off the shelf. And if it's anything like my Boots, they will grill you as to why you want it. You can't, like, I've told them, I'm like, look, it's travel sickness and it helps me sleep on the plane. But if you tell them it's for sleep, they won't give you it. But yeah. And obviously
ridiculous.
check with your GP if you've taken any other medication or have any allergies.
Yeah, of course. And if you're in the US, just get melatonin.
Yeah, melatonin's great.
And if you visit in the US, get melatonin. It's outstanding.
It is great. 5 milligrams is what we take.
Yeah, I wouldn't go over
higher
5.
than
If
that.
you're starting on it, start with 5.
Yeah, and you can get it
5's
in
more than good enough.
a lot of European countries now, but I think it's only 1 or 2 mgs.
Yeah, I tried to get it here, but you just can't.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
But yeah, so I took that pill, had my Bacardi and Coke, ate my food, started watching a film, and then I was out like a light. Like I was asleep before they collected the food trays, I realised upon landing. But I did keep waking up every now and then because I just kept smelling these awful farts, and I thought, who is doing that? Like, I just kept waking up and going, oh, like literally making those noises and wafting my nose. And then because I was so tired, then I realised later, like upon reflection, if I could smell it that strong, there's a really good chance it was me that was farting.
Yeah.
So I can just imagine, the people around me. Here we go. And then someone sitting up and going,
Yeah. The audacity for this woman to sleep here with her chair down.
I did have my chair completely back.
Yeah, completely back. Every freaking 20 minutes, a quilt just like blowing up from her farts. And then she wakes up every 2 hours just moaning, like, oh, who's doing that? Like, and everyone just, oh my, staring at daggers knowing you just... Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm on someone's TikTok somewhere.
Yeah, you are. This girl is unbearable, yeah. Yeah.
But that's what happens when you hold it and it just comes out in your sleep anyway, so.
It does. It's very natural.
Yeah.
And it's good. Get out, because it can be quite bad. It can be painful as fuck.
It can, like when you get chest pains that, like,
Yeah.
you feel like you're having a heart attack. That can be trapped wind.
That's scary as when that happens.
It really is. And you just, all you need is burping or farting, that's it.
Get it out. It feels great.
It really does. Just one thing that I want to very quickly go back on, and it's related to relationships and how good we are together. Last episode we were talking about Wicked the musical, which I'm a huge fan of, and I can talk about it all day. If you haven't seen Wicked at all and you know nothing about it, I'm going to suggest that you don't listen for the next 30 seconds. So just skip ahead 30 seconds and I'll be super quick with this. So spoiler alert incoming now. So Elphaba, the Green Witch, is her origin story in Wicked, and it shows you that she's really not the Wicked Witch of the West. It shows you like it's a lot about discrimination and how she's judged for the colour of her skin. But everyone knows her as the Wicked Witch of the West, the Green Witch, right? And I was showing Scott a video of Cynthia Erivo doing her own stunts, and then Scott goes, so she's the Good Witch. And then I wanted to double check, because to me, yes, of course she's the Good Witch. But I was like, I just want to double check. I was like, well, she's the one that everyone calls the Wicked Witch of the West. And then Scott said, yeah, but she's misunderstood, isn't she? She's just like, people are hating on her because of how she looks and all this. And I was like, oh my God, he so gets it. That's so moving to me that your automatic response will be to know her as the Good Witch. And so I texted my friend Danielle, who introduced me to Wicked and who I went to Guernsey to watch it with. And she said, in fact, let me just find exactly what she said.
I didn't know you text. Oh, you did mention you're going to mention it at some point.
Yeah.
But...
And she's just put in capitals, OMG, he gets it, lock in.
Oh. Lock in, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got friends support, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. So
That's
thank you
lovely.
for understanding what is arguably the most important story to me of, fictional story.
Yeah, and you are in love with that, and it's wonderful. Theatre is a wonderful thing. That's a great one,
It is. And I've seen Wicked north of 15 times. I stopped counting at 15.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
That's the show. I mean, I've seen the film once so far.
Because I know you like other like Dear Evan Hansen. That's another great one.
Yeah, I've not seen that live though.
It's not like I really enjoyed that live.
It's in Leeds currently. We should maybe try and.
We should. Is it?
It's either now or like soon.
Oh my God, we should definitely do that.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share that about how we fight in front of each other, we get each other's interests.
I just want to do my rendition of the Wicked Witch, which I'll definitely get cancelled for.
No, I know what you're going to do.
Can I not do it? Would I get cancelled for it?
I mean, we are from Yorkshire, so I don't
I'm
see
from
why
Yorkshire.
not.
I'm next to Bradford, it's fine. And I have a lot of friends from Bradford. But I just think it would be so funny if Wicked went to Bradford and you... It's really hard to get me going. Give me a minute. The Wicked Witch or the Wicked Vest. I just think that'd be so funny. Just over and over again. Oh, it's the Wicked Witch. Oh no, run, Wicked Witch. The Wicked Witch or the Wicked Vest.
It'd just be so good if it was a Yorkshire witch.
Yeah, oh Yorkshire. Yeah, Yorkshire. What was that? Bloody witch again. Go on, let's get going.
I said Cindy earlier, and I said.
I'll get gone. Sithy.
On Yellow Brick Road.
On Yellow Brick Road. Go on, get gone. Go on, get gone. Go to the shop. Get me a... Yeah, I don't know, but please don't cancel me, but yeah.
Do you know what the Yorkshire Tin Man said when he couldn't find his heart inside himself?
Tin, tin, tin.
Yes!
Tin, tin, tin.
That's a very Yorkshire specific joke that nobody's gonna get.
No one's gonna get that.
That means in Yorkshire talk, it isn't in the tin.
Yeah, that is real. Tin 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 means that.
Tin tin tin.
Tin tin tin. There's a lot of silly Yorkshire words. It's so funny.
They really are.
Even I get confused by them sometimes. There's words I still learn today about Yorkshire. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yorkshire, what a wonderful place.
It really is.
But
we've done we've had a lot of soul search, haven't we, and connection as a couple of late.
We have. Yes, yes, we have. I think it's important. You know, it's a relationship podcast as much as it is. It's a mash of everything, isn't it? It's a relationship, psychology, and travel, isn't it?
Philosophy,
travel, and philosophy. Philosophy, I've forgotten.
I suppose we do a little bit of psychology.
Philosophy, of course, yeah. But we've been reflective.
We have,
and it's important, you know, and we'll share that, you know. I definitely worked today, wink wink. Anyway, we basically took the day off, and we just had probably 3 hours in bed, just having really deep, and not like that, just really deep chats. And you got to do that in a relationship, you know. I mean, you know, in a relationship, you quickly learn, you know, you both will process things differently at different speeds. You'll approach things differently. So you've got to figure that out. And it can be quite challenging when you're quite different in your approach, because you have to get comfortable with the other person's approach, even if it's opposite to you, which can be difficult. Because my approach is, whenever a problem arises, deal with it there and then, in the moment. And I can't do that for everything. You know, some things are a bit more complicated to process, but I at least want to have, you know, I at least want to dive into it and, you know, let's square it away. Whereas, well, I don't want to speak for you, whereas...
Yeah, so I'm definitely where I need time to think about what's like something that's happened. I need time to process, understand my feelings. I think I need to verbalize it and like understand. Like, yeah, I have to have words for it, and I have to understand it. Rather than, because I worry that in the moment, you know, of saying something that I don't mean. Like if I'm just trying to, you know, find the right words, and yeah, I prefer to take time to reflect, and then, well, often we'll push it down and ignore it until you're great at being like, come on, let's talk about this thing.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's so opposite to how I approach. It's difficult because then for me, the way I see it, then it's like a ticking time bomb.
And it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Because you both know there's tension. You know, you don't have to be a genius to feel tension. And you can...
I don't think I'm very discreet with it either when I'm pissed off.
You don't even have to be discreet though. Like, even if there's tension, I don't care how discreet you think you're being, it'll come out. Yeah. If it's enough tension, which doesn't take much, it's just a vibe. It's just an energy. And you will pick up on it. And once you pick up on it, then you get worried about it because you don't know what it is, and it's hard to put your finger on it. But that's why I like to deal with it in the moment, because I don't like sitting on it, because it just freaks me out. Because then I feel like it can build, and then something else might happen. And by the way, these arguments can be super minor. It could be like
totally.
You could be like, you disagree what time you should go to the cinema, but you could get like quite angry. Or like a recent one, we were about how to get to the airport.
Yeah.
And we disagreed on that. You're like, oh, because we've got to get there in the early hours. And I was arguing like, so what? We've driven a bunch in the early hours before. Like, who cares? Like, let's just do it. And whereas you're like, no, I need my sleep. So, I've lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
You have to carry it on.
No, I think that because it's like when you fail to communicate, like if we don't talk about it, then like that example of you of us getting to the airport without me explaining my reasoning, you might just be like, well, like, why does she just want to sleep rather than go at this time or whatever? But when we talk through like reasonings for why you would want to set off because you thought, like, I feel like we need to be more specific, because it's
we do have a tendency of that. We're always trying to figure out what's the other person thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we answer. And I think both of us think way too deeply about things, and we just need to stop trying to figure it out and just speak.
Yeah. And
just accept, say, right, this is a safe space, and what we're about to say might come out a bit blunt.
Yeah.
And it's not everything that's going to be said is meant how it's said, but we'll be able to take that information and unpack it a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot better. And it's important that you give that safe space, because if you're someone who just takes offense to everything and go, oh my God, so we're breaking up. Like, no, we're not fucking breaking up. It's just like, it's hard especially when it's boiling up in your head. It's really hard to articulate things.
It is.
And to sort of let people gently like say, look, sometimes you just got to say, you were a prick then. And that's fine. Get it out. And then you sort of break it down. Like, it's just, I'm not going to take offense to it. Once you agree, right, let's get deep, let's throw some information out. Don't be offended. I think when it gets into passive aggression and you start arguing, saying like random things, like, well, you don't do this, you don't. Well, then that's bullying now.
Yeah. And I think like we do tend to agree on pretty much everything. It's like, it's really rare, I think, that we have disagreements over things, and I think that comes out of a miscommunication or a misunderstanding of the other person's
It's always
point of view.
miscommunication.
Yeah. Like, I don't think there's ever been anything where it's like, we've argued about something that in the end we don't see each other's point of view on it. I think we do come to see each other's point of view, and I think it's just really important that you, in those moments when you have a disagreement and when it's hurting and when you feel annoyed or angry or whatever, like you just said, it's just finding that time and space where you can like communicate about it calmly. And it hurts, and you're going to be upset at times, and it might take a minute to really consider the other person's point of view, especially if you feel hurt in that moment. But at the end of the day, when you love each other, like, you've just got to accept that you will disagree on certain things, and as long as you have each other's heart in your hands gently, then it'll be okay. And you just need to talk and communicate, and even if even if you don't agree in the end, because that's okay. You don't necessarily need to, I think, find a resolution that where you're like, okay, and now we both agree on this. You can still disagree.
Oh yeah, you're never going to agree on everything.
Yeah. We just got to find a way to move forward. We've got to find a resolution that works for both people, compromise. And
a relationship, there's compromises involved, and it can't all be one way. And sometimes maybe it is more the other someone's way, and then the other time it's more the other way, or sometimes it's just in the middle. It sort of depends on what it is and the impact it's having on someone. But you can only get there with discussion. You can't infer it. You can't, because that's where you just assume things and you make an ass out of you and them, then, don't you? I remember Ed Sheeran. He did a quite a recent interview with Theo Von. Theo Von interviewed him, and he seems to have a healthy relationship. And he mentioned in that interview, you've got to have lots of small conversations, like awkward conversations. And he says we do it all the time. We just have lots of small, uncomfortable conversations. And he says it just squares everything away instead of sort of, just having a big blowout. And I think that's so powerful. He's just having lots of small, uncomfortable conversations. Because the more you leave it, it's just much more uncomfortable, And I'm not saying, because you process things differently, so it's not fair to say, hey, we need to speak about everything in the moment, because that's unfair to expect you to just suddenly do it my way, because that's not fair. But, I don't think you can leave things for months. No. You can't leave things for months, because what happens then is 5 other things happen, and they could be, again, small things, but when 5 small things go in one, especially if they're the same issue, then it's a big thing. And then it's like, well, you didn't say anything. And that one you didn't mention anything. And that one I thought you were all right with. And it just gets a bit messy. And it's like, you've got to give each other a chance to resolve it and understand. And at the end of the day, if you don't chat, you really don't know. I don't care how long you're with someone, you don't. What's going on in our head is so unique to us.
Yeah.
And I think this is quite sad, and maybe I shouldn't look at life like this. But if you strip it back, I think in life you are on your own. And maybe I'm wrong to think about that in life, but no one else is in your head but you. And I think if you strip it back, you are on your own in life. Like, it's on you to get up. It's on you to do life. It's on you. And so I think that can be quite a lot to,
Well, the longest relationship you have is with yourself, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
Literally, from day one till the end. Which is quite, No, it's sad, but I also think it can be a beautiful thing. Like, that's... the self-development that you can have throughout your life and everything. But yeah, you are right. But I think that's a beautiful thing with, like, finding a partner, is that you can share yourself with them, and you can grow together, you can develop together, you can, I feel like I've grown so much as a human, like, through being with you. And I'm very grateful for that. Like, I think, we can bring a lot to each other, and not just in our relationship with each other, but like with our relationships with our friends. Like, you really inspire me how you communicate with your friends and how you really make an effort to check in with them, and you'll have really long phone calls with them. And that's something I really strive to do more of. And it's really inspiring. I think we can learn a lot from each other and grow together.
We definitely can, and that's the best. That's what you want out of a relationship and any friendship. You want someone who complements you and grows. You go forward together. That I've never been interested in being with someone who isn't a go-getter in life. You've got to understand how to relax as well. You can't just be crazy go. But someone who just grabs life by the tits, just goes for it, is willing to put themselves out there and let's do it. You know what? Let's stop talking about it. Let's go do it. I've always wanted to. Well, let's do it. Let's do it tomorrow. No one's gonna stop us. We haven't got a curfew. We've got enough money. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, so. Yeah, and I love that about us, is that we do that. I think we synergize that well. And I think we look after each other in the moments where we've maybe gone a bit too much, and we've probably gone, fuck me, I'm shattered, working, travel, stress, whatever. And we tag team, we tag team. We go, right, you get bed, I'll do this, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what relationships are about. There's going to be tough moments, but you've got to face them. And but it's not easy.
No. And I think that's a great idea what you said about, like, during the little, maybe we have like a weekly check-in or something like what have I done this week to piss you off?
I think I read that in a book, like when I was like 18, about this guy talking about his. It wasn't a specific couple's book; it was like a business book. But he did mention about his relationship, and he did have that. They had like a date night, but he mentioned something like a bi-weekly check-in where they did that. Yeah. I don't. It's so difficult, isn't it? So my logical brain goes, "That's great." Like for me, the way my head works, very logical. It's like perfect. That tick box ticked. But something that I've learned from you is just allowing things to just happen in the moment and just be a bit more natural of life. I try to schedule things more and try to be like, right, how are we going to resolve this? These are the A, B, and C we can do.
Yeah.
Because you're like, well, no, let's just go feel it and let's. I don't want to.
But I think because I struggle with, like, it's definitely something I've worked on. I've made improvements in, but I still do struggle with opening up and identifying my emotions and sharing them. So I think, maybe a bit of structure around that might be helpful. Like, there's someone that I followed, like, I think she's like an online sex educator, Ruby Rare, I believe.
That sounds like a porn star, man.
Just
Ruby Rare.
And she's polyamorous and has has multiple partners.
So
has multiple sexual partners. And I think it was her that said that she does like regular check-ins with her partners, like audits. And so they'll be like, are you still happy with our current situation? What do you want more of in our relationship? What do you want less of in our relationship?
Interesting.
And to, almost like a checklist. I hope it was her now. It could have been someone else, but I'm pretty sure it was. Just like, what, just making sure that everyone is happy with the situation, because I think she had like I think they call them a main, like, like a primary partner.
Yeah, they tend to have a primary partner, don't they? Yeah. And
so I don't know if that was like checking in with all of the partners or just with the main partner, primary partner. Even when, things have always been a certain way in a relationship, it can be difficult to say that, that you'd want that aspect to change. So I think having that regular, like, check in on that, I think is a good idea.
You know what? I'm really quite. You know what? Now I think about it, I'm really for this. I think we should start. There we go. Wow, we've just thought of something we're gonna do on this podcast. We generally did not plan that. We've never even talked about that.
No, well,
but I think that's a good idea. I think it's a good idea, and there's so much more we could talk about, isn't there? But I think that's good that we've had a learning on this episode. And like the guy said from Dubai, when we some guy tried to sell us a Ponzi scheme.
What scheme?
They call affiliate, like they call it when it's like a scam, like a Ponzi scheme.
Oh, really? I've never heard that term before.
There's a bit more to it, but like affiliate marketers. But it was the Hilton anyway. We'll digress, but it wasn't a Ponzi scheme.
It was like a.
It may as well have been
timeshare.
Yeah, like
situation.
A timeshare. But anyway, he was a lovely man. He had quite an interesting role before it as well, didn't he? He like worked in the UN.
Yeah, and he was from Dominican Republic, I think, originally.
But the reason I mention it, not to get away from the subject, but he said something really nice because we asked him what's important in a relationship.
Yeah, because he spoke a lot about his family, didn't he, and his wife.
Yeah, he's mentioned how important. And he said, don't go to bed with a penguin.
Yeah. Don't let there be a penguin in the bed.
Don't let there be a penguin in bed.
And that meant, basically, it kind of like don't go to bed angry, but also don't let there be that air of something, that tension in between you. Like, don't, because it makes your bed cold.
Yeah.
When you have a penguin in the bed.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's so simple to understand. I think it's so true. And yeah, the penguin will only get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you'll get more apart and more apart. And the longer you leave it, you don't know what you're angry about anymore. And when you get to that point, it's very hard to figure out. And I think that's why divorce rate is so high.
Yeah, penguins.
Penguins are making him divorce. And just as a side note, I've had 3 people in my life who have split up this year. One's a divorce, one was about to get married, and one may as well have been married because they were together for like 12 plus years. So 3 divorces, 3 massive breakups from this year of people I know. So yeah, they're all bespoke reasons. But anyway, it just shows, don't go to bed with a penguin.
Well, I think that's probably a good place for us to stop. I think we've shared some really interesting insights into our relationship, and also I think we've learned something today.
We have. That's pretty cool. That might be a first one episode.
Yeah.
We've actually taken learning. We'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, well, we will. And we thank you for taking a break from your day to get balls deep with us. Until next time, remember,
stay ballsy.
Dive deep, but don't forget your snorkel.
Balls deep.